Hi diamond painting friends, Jessica here with Tiny Worlds of Wonder. I thought today, since it's been quite a long time since I did a whip and chat, that I might stop in and do a whip and chat and that I might show you some progress on my delightful vintage Victorian magazine cover Christmas canvas. So, as you can see, I'm making very slow progress on this canvas. As of today, when I'm filming this, it is just a few days until Christmas, and I literally have maybe 7 inches done at the top of this piece. It is huge. This is the biggest canvas I've ever done. Not by a lot, but by a little, and it really is, it's daunting, I'll tell you. But I will also tell you, so far, the canvas has been pretty decent quality. It has been, the drills have been pretty good. I have one color of drills that are really concave, but other than that, it's all going pretty well. Disclaimer right up front, my cat is currently licking out a yogurt container right next to me. So if you hear something really weird going on, it's him trying to figure out how to do that without opposable thumbs, which that's a tough thing. Anyway, so let's do a little whipping and chatting. Grab your coffee with froth, because life is too short to drink coffee without froth. I'm going to give you a little update on what's going on around here and maybe what's going on with the channel at large, just a little bit. I'm going to pull back the curtain just a little bit and share with you. Now, if the whole copyright discussion irritates and frustrates you, I'm going to warn you right up front that I'm going to be talking about some of that because I have a lot of news to share with you on that front. If you are interested in learning more, which I hope you are, I hope you'll stick around and drill with me a little bit. Because I don't think that this is something that there's enough info about on YouTube at large from a crafting perspective. So hold tight. I'm going to get set up here. First off, I got an order from Robin last night. And I'm just dying. This is still too cold for me to use because it's freezing. And even though it's been sitting here all night, it still is like cold as ice. But these are so cute. Oh my gosh. I have enchanted apple, fir tree, pear and cedar, this adorable little tin, which I'm just dying for. Some stickers, some little samples. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Robin. Friend mail is just the best thing ever, right? And I am seriously loving the patty wax. Loving the patty wax. In fact, I bet that these smaller bricks are warm enough for me to try out. Let's see what's in here. I'm going to load up my pen while we chat a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's a little ducky. So I hope you guys are well. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season if you celebrate any holidays. Cinnamon stick, that's perfect. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Robin, you're just the best. All right, I'm gonna set this stuff out of the way. I know not everyone celebrates December holidays, and that's totally fine, of course. So if you're new to patty wax, let me give you like a 5-second tutorial here. What I'm doing is I'm scraping my pen, my multi-placer, across the back of my patty wax. And I'm gonna do this until there's wax coming out everywhere, okay? And I'm gonna squish it down in there with my finger because I want there to be a ton of wax down in the tip. And then I'm just gonna take my tweezers and sort of slice off the top. So if you're new to patty wax, the patty wax experience, it does work a little bit differently because it's much firmer wax than your pink wax. for your pen. I'm using my pen from Rachel at Artsy Twin Studios. This, I have to say, I really dig this pen. It must fit my hand well or something. Everyone's hand is a little different size, right? All right, I'm gonna work a little on the square while I chat with you about some stuff. So, you guys know the copyright incident. I'll just refer to it as the copyright incident from now on. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check the video up in the cards. I explain everything there, more or less, that you need to know. So after that video, sip of coffee. Oh, that's so good. I got a ton of comments on that video, most of which were very positive, a few of which, of course, as I expected, were not at all. But I also got some comments from viewers who had experience with copyright. One chiefly who works for a commercial art company. And I did look for this comment this morning. I can't find it because there are like hundreds and hundreds of comments on that video, but I would love to give her a shout out for just bringing this to my attention, really. But her comment was basically, just so you know, just because you are showing a legally licensed painting on your channel doesn't mean you actually have the right to display that artwork on your channel, especially if it's monetized. And I honestly had never ever thought of that before. That had never occurred to me before. And what I'm learning about this YouTube thing is, and it's a duh, you probably want to know what you're doing before you start a YouTube channel. I mean, I was just thinking it was going to be like fun and hanging out with my friends and showing cool stuff and all of that. And I'm not an idiot, but about this, I was, honestly. Like about all of this stuff, I was a pretty dang big idiot about it. And so I thought, I think I better do even some more research than what I had done up to that point. I think I better actually talk to a copyright attorney because there's a lot of info floating around out there from a lot of people who don't know what the heck they're talking about, frankly. And there's a lot of misinformation. And so that's exactly what I did. I talked to a copyright attorney in my area. Yes, it was expensive. And if you're starting a YouTube channel, I suggest you do the same. I actually suggest if you have any copyright questions about anything, that you go and consult a copyright attorney. Not all attorneys are created equal. All attorneys specialize, so you do want to make sure it's a copyright attorney. Now, because, of course, our discussion, the attorney and my discussion was confidential. I'm not going to read you any verbatim quotes from our discussion at large, but I will just sort of fill you in on the things that I learned in general, how they might change the channel going forward, and honestly, and here's the part that's scary to say, if there is a channel going forward, because this stuff is actually pretty complicated and pretty difficult. So in my discussion right up front here, and I do hope to make a video about this that's a little more organized and formal and not just me yammering on while I diamond paint. But some of the most common misconceptions that I read in my last video are as follows. Number one, I'm not selling what I make, so it's not a problem if it's not legally licensed or if I have a copyright issue. And I'll tell you right up front, that does not matter. It does not matter if you're selling it. It does not matter. It doesn't, I just can't say it enough times. It does not matter. That is not a factor in determining how much trouble you get in for using copyrighted material or reselling it, etc. Or sorry, not reselling it, but for using it and purchasing it. It does not matter. Another misconception I heard is that I'm not using very much of it. Again, doesn't matter. Now that I bought it, I paid for it, I can do whatever I want with it. Again, not true, doesn't matter. So here's the long and short of it. Okay, and this is vastly different in some ways for YouTube creators. Maybe not vastly different, but somewhat different for YouTube creators than it is just for the general public. But when an artist creates a piece of artwork, under today's statutes, under today's laws in the United States, they own copyright to that piece of artwork instantly. They don't have to register anything. They don't have to do anything. If you create a painting and you can show that you have made that piece of artwork, that copyright is yours instantaneously, the moment the artwork is created. Okay, so you don't have to do anything. And if you're the copyright holder, you have basically 6 protections under the law. You have the right to copy that work. You have the right to distribute that work. You have the right to make what are called derivative works, which is creating the work in a new form, more or less, like a diamond painting. You have the right to display the work publicly, and you have the right to perform the work in the case of any performing art, and you have the right to broadcast or rebroadcast. Okay, so as my commenter so deftly pointed out to me, just because you have permission to purchase something and use it for your personal use doesn't necessarily mean you have the right to show it on your YouTube channel, which is definitely, as far as I understand it, a public display. That's a completely different kind of display. So when I found all this out, I'll just tell you up front, I was discouraged before. I was discouraged after the copyright incident to the point where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But after I heard that, yeah, there's literally nothing I can show on my channel without going through the pretty extensive labor of asking for permission on 100% of the things I show. I'm really discouraged. I'm really discouraged. And you guys, I absolutely hate it when people act entitled. I just hate that. They act like they have the right to do something. You know, you have the right to, just because you don't have money to buy legally licensed images, then you're entitled to buy stolen ones. No, sorry. Sorry, that's probably more upfront than I've been about this on the channel so far. And I might get some comments. I might. But it's just true. It's just true. I mean, you wouldn't walk into a store and be like, I don't have money for this cereal, so I guess I'm entitled to just take the cereal. I mean, you'd never do that. Come on. You'd never do that. Jessica's feisty today. Jessica's not had enough coffee. But I was tempted to feel entitled, I will say. Like, I'm buying legally licensed images, and now I can't even show those without permission. People do it all the time. People do it every day. And I'm really tempted to feel entitled. I'm battling that. Now again, if you're watching this and you're a YouTube creator, if you're any kind of diamond painter or crafter, period, I'm not out scoping for people who are, you know, asking for permissions or not, or I'm not reporting people, or good grief, no. Frankly, I don't want anybody else to have to stress about this the way that I have. But it does in a way feel like, I don't know, it's challenging. It's challenging because I don't feel like I have the passion to continue as strongly as I did before. It doesn't mean I'm not going to. Doesn't mean I'm not going to. I've been alive now long enough to know that emotions are fleeting. So, you know, I'm not going to just disappear. But I will say this has been quite the thing. So yeah, it appears from the general information I've been gathering that yes, it is truly not allowed. Or not allowed. How do I say this in a way that makes sense? Copyright holders do have the right to dictate how their work is displayed. AKA, if they see their work on my YouTube channel and they have not given me permission to display it, they can issue a copyright strike. Even though that canvas was legally licensed, purchased legally, all of that. So it's another hoop now for me to be able to show things on the channel. And like I said, I had the temptation to really feel entitled. Like, yeah, I don't know how to say this without making it sound like other people are doing something wrong, and I'm not trying to say that at all. I mean, people who know me know that I'm super laid back, and I truly don't care what anybody else does. I'm not the kind of person who's going to be monitoring anyone. But I will say I do care about my fellow YouTubers, and I love watching YouTube channels about diamond painting. And I don't want anyone's channel to go away because I like all of them. But yeah, including mine. But I do feel super discouraged. So you may have noticed I don't know if anyone monitors my listings of videos, but you may have noticed that I've been putting things up, taking them down, unlisting them, making them private, making them public, and it's just in constant flux. Right at the moment, pardon me, because I am in the process of getting permissions for all these things. So like the short trailer I made the other day, What is Diamond Painting? I realized that I had used a clip of Tangled by Claudia McKinney in that, and Claudia had given me permission to use images of Tangled in some of my previous videos, but I realized that I had forgotten to ask her permission for that one, so I had to take that down. And she is wonderful and very kind and gave me permission to use that. But it has been quite the process. So as you can see, all of my coloring tutorials have disappeared because, again, I see it every day all the time on coloring channels, and I don't know what the status of permissions is. But after consulting an attorney for real, I realized I can't just post, I can't just display copyrighted work on my channel unless I have permissions from the copyright holder. So does that limit what I can do? Yes, so much. And yeah, the fact of the matter is that it's hard to make a channel that is relevant when you might be the only one. When you might be the only one who is as concerned about following the law completely, 100%. And I'm not saying other people aren't concerned. I'm not saying that at all. Not at all. I did not know. I truly did not know. I don't think most people know, because honestly, who can afford to go to talk to a copyright attorney? I only did it because I was bugging out, you know. So yeah, that's where it stands. I would love to do some more coloring tutorials, but at this moment I've only heard back from one coloring book author authorizing me to do that. And yeah, that was Lizzie Mary Cullen, and she is an extremely wonderful person. But this is all very complex. It's all very complicated, and I didn't know. I didn't know any of it was that complicated. Now, what's the likelihood that I would ever get caught because I'm one channel among, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of channels showing coloring books on my channel, or showing Diamond Art Club images on my channel, or any of that? Probably none. I mean, there's probably no chance that it would be a huge problem. So I guess in this scenario, chance favors the daring in a way. But I really don't know. I don't know how to approach this completely. So yeah. Like I said, I would love to do a video that's a little bit where thoughts are a little more organized about the copyright issue and the fair use and whether diamond art is transformative, all of that stuff. But just in general terms, I can tell you from my discussions with a copyright attorney, I think all of that would be pretty hard to prove. So that's where it stands. More of my content has disappeared, not because I got in trouble for any of it, but just because I'm the kind of person, if I know that I am supposed to, in order to do right by people, supposed to do something like ask for permission to display, then I can't not do it. And in a way, it does affect how quickly I can respond to trends in the diamond painting world. Let's just say how quickly I can show new releases or any of that. So yeah, I've been feeling a little discouraged. I haven't had a whole lot of impulse to make a lot of videos. You can tell I'm doing short little things that are kind of maybe simplistic and all of that, but I'm trying to get my mojo back. Jessica's trying to get her mojo back and sort of make a plan for where to go from here. So that's where things stand with the channel at this moment. I've never seen my channel as being in competition with anybody else. I really don't think all YouTubers probably feel that way, but I truly do. But I just want to be able to, if I'm going to do this, I feel like I do have to be able to be relevant. And it's just hard. It's hard to be relevant in the sense that 12 people could unbox something and show it on their channel before I have permission to display it from the artist. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how to say any of that in a way that's very eloquent, and that really, my feelings are sort of all in a tangle, and therefore my words are all in a tangle. Yeah, and yeah, it's just a tricky one. It really is. It's a tricky one. So, beyond that, what else is going on? My kids are doing all their holiday programs. My daughters are very involved in orchestra, and so that's a lot of fun. Their big gala concert is this week, and that'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun. It's like one of those swanky things that you have to pay to get into, and so it's not just like your normal average Christmas concert, which will be a lot of fun. And then this weekend is cookie weekend, and man, I gotta brainstorm something to do for the diamond painting Christmas event that's happening, which I think I'm supposed to be premiering a video on Christmas, the evening of Christmas. So I, as of this moment, have no plans for that, but I'll get there. I'll make a plan. It'll come together at the last minute. Anyway, I think I better wrap up there. Thank you so much for hanging in there for a little discussion and a little catch up today. I hope it didn't rain on anyone's parade too much. That was not my intention, but I think, like I said, these issues are so important, especially for creators, and I had such a difficult time finding any of this information out. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Spread some joy wherever you are today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.